Good morning. As many of you probably remember, I'm not Ben Mulrooney. Ben Mulrooney still is with his family and close loved ones in Florida after the passing of his father and our former Prime Minister, Brian Mulrooney. Ben sends his thanks and appreciation to everyone reaching out and all the love you sent to his family these past couple of days. And he will be coming back, but not right away. We will let you know everything we need to know as it comes down. But for right now, we're going to let the man be with his family. But coming up right now, we have something really important coming up because, well, housing in Ontario, housing in Canada is a big issue. And housing in Ontario, considering how populated this province is a huge issue, especially since I live here. So it's a big issue. And there's a lot of people who are bailing out of developers, essentially, are bailing out of projects, pulling out before they're finished, leaving us with incomplete projects, people out tens, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars, and less housing than we need. How are we going to address this? What is happening? What is going on? To get into all of this, we're going to bring on a very good friend, Develle Morrison with Bosley Real Estate Limited. Develle, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. How are you?
I'm doing great. And before we get into everything, Develle, with just everything going on and Brian Mulrooney, all the news in the past couple of days, I was just curious if you had any, when you hear his name, what comes to mind?
I mean, I think he was one of our great prime ministers.
Mm-hmm.
He's prime minister for such a long time. And I think he forged a lot of relationships and great international relationships for this country. So, I think it's a sad time. He's definitely going to be well remembered. It's interesting over the last couple of days, just watching a lot of the footage on TV where they talk about the fact that Brian Mulrooney was really willing to extend a hand and speak to people in the opposition who weren't necessarily a part of his party. So I think that, anytime that you can have someone who is willing to extend that olive branch, that's amazing. The other comment that I heard that I thought was incredible was that he was willing to learn about things he didn't necessarily know and believe in the scientists and the people who were telling him sort of what needed to be done. And they were referencing acid rain and some of the other issues that he conquered. So, you know what? He was a great prime minister. He will be sadly missed. And, my deepest condolences to his entire family.
Beautifully put, Develle. I honestly don't think I would have added anything onto there. You highlighted some of my favorite facts as well. Okay, but now I need to know what's happening with housing, because is it just going to be that I'm never going to be able to afford a house, or there just won't be a house for me, or what is happening here?
Well, so it's interesting. This is Tarion that there's a Tarion warranty. Tarion is run by the provincial government. Okay. And essentially what's happening right now is you have some developers, they're going bankrupt, essentially. And so because that they've gone bankrupt, you've got all of these people who have given their deposit money up front that is in some cases held in trust, in some cases not held in trust. But that deposit money now, they're going back to Tarion to say, give me my money back because I've put a down payment of $100,000 or $60,000 or whatever it is. And they want that money back. So, Tarion is seeing that, there's a lot of redemptions or a lot of claims happening. So between 2019 and 2021, there was something like 1.2 to 1.6 million. Oof. In 2022, they've seen it come in at 7 million, but they're anticipated for 2024 is $90 million, which that
doesn't make any sense. It just went from 1.2 million one year to 7 to 90. Is that what you just said? Did I hear you wrong?
I did. But you know what? Interest rates have affected everybody, right? And I think that that's what people know, that interest rates have increased, but they don't understand all the facets of the market that are affected by these high interest rates.
I'm just curious here, jumping in almost like a layman who is not in the real estate game, but real estate prices, rates are, let me try it again. Interest rates are dropping slightly. Shouldn't we see that reflect in this, or are we still feeling those repercussions?
I think we're feeling those repercussions, right? I think you get people who can only hang on and who can only hang on for so long. Okay. And yes, rates are going to go down, but they haven't yet. There's lots of predictions that they're going to come down in the summertime. And even if they do come down in the summertime, what's that going to be? 0.25%? 0.5%?
Yeah. Okay. So,
right. If you're already stressed out about interest rates, having them come down, I think 1/4 or 1/2, I don't know.
Yeah. It's like a drop in the bucket there. I can understand that. So, but what you're saying here is that if we're expecting $90 million in claims, essentially, then we're getting, I'm assuming, a lot of housing developments that are just not finished, half finished, barely constructed, just abandoned now, correct?
Yes, that is correct. But one thing that's interesting about this, and maybe interesting is the wrong word,
Oh, we'll go with
but
interesting. What's interesting?
is that when you put a deposit down on a pre-construction condo, it's protected. When
Okay.
you put a deposit down on a pre-construction house, it's not protected.
You're,
So,
you're going to need to explain that to me. How does that make any sense? Why would that be the case?
which is why I said interesting, and then maybe interesting is not the right word.
Well,
And so,
yeah, okay.
and so, here's the thing that I would say that rule needs to change.
Oh,
It doesn't make sense
not at all.
that, yeah, that a condo buyer is protected, but a freehold house buyer is not protected. So I would say that's the first thing that really needs to change with this is that freehold home buyer also needs to have their deposit protected as well.
So how much, are we talking the full deposits protected or just a part of it? And I'm sorry, I'm asking you a big question. We're getting close to the end here, so let's try to fireball some questions here. How much of your deposit is protected?
I thought the last thing I read was something like $60,000 was protected for a certain amount, but I can't remember what all the exact amounts are. But
Okay.
yeah, so some of it is protected, but I can't remember the exact amounts of that.
All right, and then very final point. Is this going to be a problem that will deeply affect Tarion? Are we going to really feel this as Ontarians, or is this something that the market is going to hurt from but be able to bounce back from?
I think the market will be able to bounce back from this, and I don't think we're going to really feel it unless, for example, there's so much money that Tarion owns that the provincial government, but the provincial government has big pockets. So is
Fair.
this going to affect you and I? No, not really.
All right. Well, there you have it. I'm still not going to be able to afford a home, but we're going to hopefully have less claims. But 90 million for 1.2 is insane. Devel, I want to thank you very much for joining us and helping to explain that and making it make sense to someone like a layman like myself.
Sounds good. Glenn, we got to get you a place. I know we can do it.
All right. I trust you. And if you're saying that, you're going to be footing the bill. So this is going to be great. We're going to make it happen.
Okay, sounds good.
All right. Have a great Saturday morning.
Thanks. Bye.
Okay, everybody, coming up, scandals and taxes are looking like they're going to be coming back into our life. And I'm going to be looking into some of the other top stories coming into this week. So stick around. We'll see what I'm talking about on Toronto this weekend.